U.S. stocks rally at the end of today, driving the S&P 500 up over 4%. That was just in the final hour of trading. For the details, let's go to Deborah Kostroun at the New York Stock Exchange. Deborah.
Well, thanks a lot, Pimm. And, the markets were really kind of all over the place on a lot of different headlines, I might add. And in this last hour of trading, we got news that EU officials are looking at ways to recapitalize struggling banks, and that caused the markets to turn around. So stocks really fighting back here because at one point the Dow was down 250 points. And, of course, the big concern much of the day was on concern that a bailout of Greece will unravel. On the other end, throughout the trading day, a lot of people trying to decipher what Ben Bernanke's comments and his testimony to Congress, what they really meant. Bernanke telling Congress he is ready to take more steps to boost the economy. And he also said that the economy is on the verge of a recession. But it seemed like, Pimm, that the market really focused on the headlines out of Europe and really not so much on Ben Bernanke's comments, Pimm.
Indeed, Deborah. All right, so we know that the news headlines out of Europe touching off the buying, perhaps, but this market supposedly inexpensive.
Exactly. Bargain hunting, also a big part of the story today because the valuations are pretty cheap. We started out today, the S&P trading at 10 times earnings. That's the cheapest level in 2.5 years. Also, a lot of people focusing in on the fact that the S&P falling below 1090 today. Now, we did hit that mark in today's session, and that is actually technically the definition of a bear market because at that point, we are at a 20% decline off the April 29th high. And obviously, we did close above that level, but many people were watching that today. So as we saw this big turnaround, you can imagine the financials doing quite well as we were talking about the positive news coming out of Europe. And the other thing, materials, they were actually the best performers in the S&P on the day. That's it from here, Pimm. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Deborah Kostroun, reporting from the New York Stock Exchange.